Stop believing that turning 50 automatically means your best years are behind you because what I'm about to tell you challenges one of the biggest myths in modern health. Most people assume that fatigue, weight gain, memory problems, and aching joints are simply unavoidable parts of getting older. But the shocking truth is that many of the changes people blame on aging are actually signs that the body is adapting to decades of accumulated stress, inflammation, and metabolic dysfunction. And here is something that should immediately get your attention. A landmark study from the National Institute on Aging found that biological aging can accelerate dramatically after age 50, with measurable declines occurring in muscle mass, cardiovascular function, and metabolic flexibility. Another large analysis published in Nature Aging showed that many age-related changes do not happen gradually. Instead, they occur in waves, with one of the most significant shifts appearing shortly after age 50. Now listen carefully because if you stay with me until the end, I'll reveal the most surprising change that happens after 50, one that affects nearly every organ in your body and influences everything from your energy levels to your risk of chronic disease. Most people never hear about it until the damage is already done. Before we dive in, I want to ask you something personal. How old are you right now? And what is the biggest change you've noticed in your body since turning 50? Is it lower energy, weight gain, poor sleep, or something else? Tell me in the comments because I read every single one and your experience might help someone else realize they're not alone. Let's begin. Number 5 is that your muscles start disappearing faster than you think. This is one of the most overlooked changes after 50 because it happens silently. Research from the Mayo Clinic shows that adults can lose between 3 and 8% of muscle mass per decade after age 30, and the rate accelerates significantly after age 50. By age 70, many people have lost nearly a quarter of the muscle they had in early adulthood. Think of your muscles as the engine of your body. Most people think muscle only helps with strength, but it actually controls metabolism, balance, blood sugar regulation, and even longevity. When muscle declines, everything becomes harder. One of my patients, Richard, a 67-year-old retired mechanic from Ohio, came to me frustrated because he felt tired all the time. He thought aging was slowing him down. What he didn't realize was that he had lost a significant amount of muscle over the previous decade. After introducing resistance training and increasing his protein intake, his energy levels improved dramatically within months. This happens because of something called anabolic resistance. That sounds complicated, but it simply means your muscles become less responsive to protein and exercise as you age. After 60, your body needs a stronger stimulus to maintain muscle compared to when you were younger. To fight this process, aim for 25 to 35 grams of high-quality protein with each meal. Morning protein is especially important because it helps stimulate muscle-building pathways that are less active after age 50. A powerful synergy tip is combining protein intake with resistance exercise. Even light strength training paired with protein can significantly improve muscle preservation. Number 4 is that your metabolism becomes less flexible and more vulnerable. This is where many people begin noticing unexplained weight gain. A study from Harvard Medical School found that metabolic efficiency declines steadily with age, particularly after 50, making it easier to gain fat and harder to lose it. Imagine your metabolism as a furnace. In your younger years, it burned fuel quickly and efficiently, but over time, the furnace becomes less responsive, meaning excess calories are more likely to be stored rather than used. One patient, Linda, a 62-year-old grandmother from Texas, told me she was eating the same foods she always had, but was steadily gaining weight. The problem wasn't simply calories, it was that her metabolic flexibility had declined. After age 50, mitochondrial function begins to decrease. Mitochondria are tiny structures inside your cells that generate energy. Think of them as microscopic power plants. When they become less efficient, energy production drops while fat storage increases. To support metabolism, focus on regular movement throughout the day rather than relying only on occasional exercise sessions. Walking after meals can improve blood sugar control and metabolic efficiency. A synergy tip is pairing movement with adequate hydration. Even mild dehydration can reduce metabolic performance and increase fatigue. Now, before we move to the top 3 most surprising changes, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Every week, I share evidence-based strategies designed to help you stay healthy, independent, and mentally sharp as you age. Because what happens next on this list may completely change how you think about aging. Number three is that inflammation begins affecting nearly every system in your body. This is one of the hidden reasons aging feels so different after 50. Researchers at Stanford University discovered that chronic low-grade inflammation increases significantly with age and becomes one of the strongest predictors of disease, disability, and mortality. In fact, elevated inflammatory markers are associated with higher risks of heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and cognitive decline. Think of inflammation like a tiny fire burning inside your body. When you're young, the fire appears briefly and goes out. But after 50, that fire can smolder continuously, quietly damaging tissues day after day. One of my patients, Barbara, a 71-year-old from Florida, complained of joint stiffness, poor energy, and constant aches. She assumed these were unavoidable signs of aging, but blood tests revealed elevated inflammatory markers. After changing her diet, improving sleep, and increasing physical activity, many of those symptoms improved dramatically. This process becomes more important because aging bodies experience something scientists call inflammaging. This simply means the immune system becomes slightly overactive and creates ongoing inflammation even without obvious illness. After age 75, inflammatory activity may increase by as much as 30 to 40% compared to younger adults. To help reduce inflammation, focus on foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, colorful vegetables, berries, and olive oil. These foods contain compounds that help calm inflammatory pathways. A powerful synergy tip is combining omega-3 rich foods with regular physical activity. Together, they create a stronger anti-inflammatory effect than either one alone. Now we move into territory that surprises almost everyone. Number two is that your brain changes more than you realize after 50. Many people fear memory loss, but what they don't realize is that cognitive aging often begins long before obvious symptoms appear. A study from the University of California found that processing speed can begin declining in midlife, while certain memory functions become more vulnerable after age 50. However, the same research showed that lifestyle factors dramatically influence the rate of decline. Think of your brain like a highway system. When traffic flows smoothly, information moves efficiently. But inflammation, poor sleep, insulin resistance, and inactivity create roadblocks that slow communication between different regions of the brain. One patient, Michael, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Arizona, became concerned because he was forgetting names and appointments more often. He feared serious cognitive decline. After improving sleep quality, exercising regularly, and controlling blood sugar, he noticed significant improvements in mental clarity within months. One major reason this happens is reduced blood flow to the brain. After 50, blood vessels become less flexible, limiting nutrient and oxygen delivery. Another factor is declining mitochondrial function. Remember those cellular power plants we discussed earlier? Your brain depends heavily on them. As mitochondrial efficiency drops, mental energy can suffer. To support brain health, prioritize 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep and engage in regular learning activities. Reading, puzzles, language learning, and social interaction all stimulate neural pathways. A powerful synergy tip is pairing aerobic exercise with mental challenges. Exercise increases blood flow, while mental stimulation strengthens neural connections. Now we arrive at the most shocking truth of all, and what I'm about to tell you affects nearly every part of your body. Number one is that your body becomes dramatically more sensitive to blood sugar and insulin after 50. This may be the single most important biological shift on this entire list. Research published in Cell Metabolism found that insulin sensitivity often declines significantly with age, increasing the risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and excess fat accumulation. Think of insulin as a delivery truck carrying glucose from your bloodstream into your cells. When insulin works properly, energy is delivered efficiently. But when cells become resistant, the trucks start backing up, causing traffic jams throughout the body. The result is elevated blood sugar, increased inflammation, more fat storage, and greater stress on blood vessels. One of my patients, James, a 73-year-old from California, felt exhausted almost every afternoon. He blamed aging, but testing revealed significant insulin resistance. After reducing added sugars, increasing daily walks, and improving protein intake, his energy returned and his blood sugar improved dramatically. After age 50, muscle loss compounds this problem because muscles are one of the body's largest glucose storage sites. Less muscle means less capacity to process blood sugar efficiently. This is why maintaining muscle mass becomes so important for longevity. To support insulin sensitivity, prioritize protein, fiber, vegetables, and healthy fats while minimizing highly processed foods and added sugars. One of the most effective strategies is taking a 10 to 15-minute walk after meals. Studies show this can significantly improve glucose control. A powerful synergy tip is combining post-meal movement with adequate protein intake. Together, they support both blood sugar regulation and muscle preservation. Now, step back and look at the bigger picture. What happens after 50 is not simply aging, it is a series of biological changes affecting muscles, metabolism, inflammation, brain function, and blood sugar regulation. The shocking truth is that these systems are deeply connected. When one declines, the others often follow. But the opposite is also true. When you improve one area, positive effects spread throughout the body. I have seen patients in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s regain strength, improve memory, increase energy, and reduce disease risk by focusing on these fundamental systems. The goal is not to become 25 again. The goal is to become the healthiest version of yourself at the age you are right now. Because aging successfully is not about avoiding every wrinkle or eliminating every gray hair. It is about preserving independence. It is about having enough strength to carry groceries, enough energy to travel, enough mental clarity to enjoy conversations, and enough health to spend meaningful time with the people you love. What they don't want you to know is that many of the changes blamed on aging are actually influenced by daily habits. Your body is constantly adapting to the signals you send it. Every walk matters, every healthy meal matters, every good night of sleep matters, and every positive choice becomes an investment in your future. Most importantly, it is never too late to start. Whether you are 52, 62, 72, or even 82, your body retains an incredible ability to adapt and improve when given the right conditions. That is one of the most hopeful truths in all of medicine. If this video helped you understand what really happens after 50, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future evidence-based health insights. And now I want to hear from you. Which change on today's list surprised you the most, and what is one thing you plan to improve starting this week? Tell me in the comments below. I read every single one, and your story may inspire someone else to take their first step toward a healthier, stronger, and longer life.